All right, folks, this is it. The season finale, Loki. I'm kind of disappointed it wasn't Mephisto. Kind of disappointed.
Oh.
All right, folks, welcome back. The Loki after show. We're going full spoilers, so just in case you haven't watched the show, watch the show. Come back and watch this. So the season finale, we find out. I thought we already knew it was going to be a season 2, but it was supposed to be the shocker of a.
I'm clairvoyant, apparently.
Yeah, the post-credit scene was kind of let down, but the rest of the episode, I watched this episode twice. This is the first one I've watched twice because there's a lot to unpack. Let's like kind of go into it. Sarah, what was your overall thoughts of this one?
10 out of 10. It gave us everything we wanted and more, in my opinion. And stuff we didn't even expect to get. It was great.
Yeah,
I'm a fan. Sorry, spoilers. 10 out of 10.
Oh, spoilers. Yeah. If you haven't, yeah. So we get to see. Not the Kang we were thinking. This is Kang. This is they kind of combined the He Who Remains character and Kang kind of together. So this is a variant of Kang. This is not the Kang the Conqueror, which was mentioned. We'll talk about that more. But we get the He Who Remains kind of merged with the Kang storyline. Nip, what do you think? What was your overall thoughts?
Overall, I liked the episode, but I wasn't a fan of this He Who Remains Kang. He was a little too goofy for me. Like, I don't know, like weird, like
He's
Willy
insane.
Wonka vibes. Just like, I don't know, just a little too tricksterish for me. It didn't really match up with the character you're thinking. The way he was describing himself, like he's tired, old, and ready to just give it up. So why is this dude all like goofy and playing around? Like, I don't know. I didn't really feel it.
Kang is insane, and at this point, he's lived, like you said, he's lived a million lives. So yeah, you might get a little stir crazy, a little gloopy if you've been around time for all eternity. So I kind of get that part of it.
I did like the episode though. Overall, I like the episode.
I like the reveal. My heart was pounding through this whole episode, just kind of like when they opened those doors. It was I was just like, oh shit, and then we just get Jonathan Majors in there and like no. I thought maybe we'll get like a little glimpse of him, maybe a hint of him, but
We got Miss Minutes first, though.
Yeah. All right, yeah. So let's go through it. We get the opening credits. We get some voiceover from some of the characters in the MCU. I thought it was a cool little shot. Somebody pointed out it's kind of the shot from the movie Contact, like kind of the opening shot, kind of going through, hearing voiceover from history and stuff. So we get some Marvel MCU stuff, then we get some history like voices and kind of going through like showing what the multiverse could be. So we get the logo, and we get them. We start off right where we were left off last episode. We got Loki and Sylvie going into the Citadel, and of course Sarah's favorite character, Miss Minutes, stops them there, and she kind of mentioned He Who Remains kind of a couple times. And also kind of gives them an offer like, hey, you can, we'll give you what you want. Loki, you could win the Battle of New York, get the Infinity Gauntlet, kill Thanos. Sylvie, you can like forget all the shit you went through and have some happy memories, and kind of give them a deal. So what'd you think of this opening, Sarah, and your best friend, Miss Minutes?
How spooky was that when it was like, boom, it was Miss Minutes. I told you guys she was bad. I've been saying it from day one. She's part of the big bad. Anyways, I thought it was cool. I felt like the castle gave very much like Beauty and the Beast vibes as they walk in, and it's like everything. I was like expecting like a candle holder to start talking or something. But I thought it was really interesting. And I don't know. I don't really believe this whole deal that they were going to make. I didn't believe anything that was said in that room. Like, I didn't believe him when he said he felt old. I didn't believe him when they were like trying to make a deal. Like, I didn't believe anything. So I think they were just trying to delay him or like get them to do something else, and then they would kill them somewhere else. But I don't think they were ever going to give Loki and Sylvie what they actually wanted. Can't
always get what you want.
But yeah, I have more thoughts, but we're gonna save it because there's a lot to talk about this episode.
Yeah, for sure. Nip, what do you think of this opening?
It was a cool opening, like you said. Sarah's enemy, arch rival, Nemesis comes in, and it's just a little holographic trickster playing mind games, always talking shit, condescending. Yeah, so I mean, yeah, like Sarah said, I'm not believing anything, and the Lokis weren't buying the bullshit either. You could tell.
Yeah, well, they're master manipulators themselves, so they kind of smell bullshit when they're around.
But what we didn't get any like description of what she is. She's just kind of like a future
AI. Is she like
AI?
Is she like a
Siri
trap
gone
soul?
bad?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with demon. I think she's Mephisto. Miss Minutes, Mephisto.
There you go. There you go. Starting off. So we get to see a little bit more of the Citadel. You get to see four statues. One of them were broken down. One was destroyed. So I'm thinking that's the evil Kang. That's the Conqueror Kang that kind of fucked everything up. And we'll talk more about that when we get to the end of the episode. But we meet Jonathan Majors, and very kind of hamming it up for sure, kind of chewing scenery. But I dug it, especially the second time around watching it. Kind of pay attention to all the little like quirks he was doing, all those little weird little mannerisms he was doing. It's very good. You could tell, like you see in certain time films, in time travel, like time travel kind of fucks with your head and kind of messes with your mind. So I can see him being kind of like sporadic, kind of weird. And this is like, and he kind of tells the origin of Kang, like what's the whole point of Kang. He kind of he name dropped the Conqueror. He's been in many forms, and we kind of get a universal, like there was a multiverse of Kangs kind of coming together and kind of working together and trying to make each other's universes better. But there was a few of the Kangs that didn't want to do that. They wanted to rule, and so there was a big multiverse battle. And we get Kang on Kang violence. So that's why this timeline was created, because it was too crazy, and all the Kangs trying to rule the timeline got out of control. So this is why the TVA was created, and he wanted to create one standard timeline. So what'd you think of that, Sarah?
To rule them all.
So what do you think of that, Sarah? Kind of like explaining who Kang is and kind of what his motivation was. Well, this one is the He Who Remains. This is not. We're gonna get multiple Kangs in this next phase and such. So this is one of the Kangs.
Right. Well, see, I have no connection to any like He Who Remains, any previous Kangs. All I knew was that was the actor that they hired. So I was like, here we go. We're getting our big, like at least one of our villains for Multiverse of Madness, right? So, or was it Spider-Man that he's in? He's
going to be an Ant-Man.
Ant-Man. Okay, so we got Ant-Man.
Yeah. So I think that's good. I think that's going to be the finale of this multiverse thing. I think we'll get Spider-Man 3, Doctor Strange, and then Ant-Man is kind of like where it all comes ahead with the quantum realm and stuff like that. So I think that's
right.
What it,
Ant-Man is 2023, correct?
Yeah, I think March 2023. So it's like a year and a half away.
Well, unlike Nip, I mean, I did not physically, like personally, like the mannerisms of. Are we calling him Kang? Is that what we're going to go with for now?
It's called Kang. It's called Kang. Yeah, it's a version of.
But
Kang.
I think that was the point, because he made me very uncomfortable. He was like saying, again, kind of like Miss Minutes, like saying nice things, sort of for the most part, but in a very weird way that makes you like just a little off balance.
Yeah.
And it was like, I thought it was really eerie, and I'm excited because villains like this, like you just don't know what they're gonna do. Like if they don't have like sort of logic that they're following, if they're just kind of a little bit insane, it's gonna be exciting.
Kind of like
also, I would be a little crazy in my little Beauty and the Beast castle too. Like he doesn't even have a candlestick to talk to, guys.
He does have a clock to talk to, so.
But
he does have a clock.
Are you guys taking him at his word? Because he doesn't really have anything to gain by being killed, right? I mean, there's no end game that he could like needs to die.
I think this is all part of the plan when he's talking about. I think this is like part of a manipulation plan. This is what's supposed to happen next. Maybe he wants the chaos. Maybe like I don't know. There's more to it for sure. We're gonna learn more in the next coming phases, but I think there's more to it than just he's tired. He wants to end his time and have somebody else take over. Kind of doesn't make sense for his character, but.
Yeah, I almost felt like this is just coming into my head right now, but I almost felt like he was like banished to this spot. Like maybe he lost in that timeline and he was like banished to this spot at the end of the world. And by killing him, you were like resetting his chances of being able to conquer.
That's a good point. I didn't see that one. Yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
that makes a little bit of sense.
Yeah.
I'm gonna thank the coffee for that one.
Thank the
Not
coffee.
sponsored.
Thank the coffee. Yeah, no, that, we'll jump ahead a little bit, but when when Sylvie actually stabs him and he gives her that, see you soon, gives her that wink, I was like, ooh, that was like chilling, like, oh damn, yeah, you unleashed some shit. So we go back and forth. We go back to actually, yeah, Nip, what'd you think of the multiverse of Kangs, like of the multiple Kang, like his explanation of his origin, who he is?
I liked it. They went in detail. They broke down pretty much everything. Usually you don't get that much kind of clarity with these kind of characters. So I think that was good that they took the time to let him explain his origins. And you broke it down. You seen the visual. You don't just hear him talking. Usually you just hear these guys talking about like, oh, this happened. But you get the visual representation by that little thing he's manipulating. So that was cool. I like that. I was a fan of the explanation of his backstory and how it's going to open up the multiverse. And in the intro of this episode, you can hear all the voices from this universe. So you're definitely going to be getting a different multiverse. I think that's what they're hinting at with because we've never had that before. Usually it's just the music, but you had all the voices from like the Avengers and Guardians of the Galaxy, all the MCU was pretty much in there. So this is definitely a turning point, a flashpoint, if you would say, in the MCU, and this is the best way to bring in Fantastic Four, X-Men, all these other properties.
Did you see the ship that was in the when they were going through space? There was a ship, and somebody theorized that might be the Fantastic Four ship at some point.
Okay.
Yeah, there was like a little spaceship. I didn't recognize it from any of the Marvel movies, so maybe that's the Fantastic Four spaceship.
No, it's my spaceship. I left it there. My bad.
Yeah. You got to park it right, okay?
There's just an X-wing. There's just an X-wing.
The X-wing.
Can't just leave your keys on the counter, Sarah. Come on.
So yeah, it's I like the way it kind of visually kind of told the story. You know, it's pretty much what the comic book origin is. He's from like the 30th century, far future. His real name's Nathaniel Richards. So he and pretty much how he started. He was a scientist, and he discovers the multiverse. And there's different versions of, like, we had Rama Tut, and he was the kid Iron Lad in the comics. So we're gonna see different versions of.
But
Kang.
he's rumored to be related to Reed Richards, right? So unless Reed Richards is black in this, where he's not gonna be.
Well, it's 3,000 years in the future. There can be some different melding of races and stuff. So
3,000 years is long.
Yeah, that's a long time. He could definitely mix up.
And Doctor Doom, right? Correct. He's supposed to be descendant of both.
I think he's a descendant of both. Yeah, I think that's what they said in the comic. They're both, because Richards is, of course, Reed Richards' last name, and he has some relation to Doom too. So it's opening up a lot of possibilities. This is the first major villain to come over from the Fox deal. So this is the first one to really pop up, and this is a major one. This is a major one from the comics. He pops up in a lot of stuff. So. Yeah, a lot of ties to a lot of characters. So we'll jump around a bit. So we'll go. We see Raven, Ravonna, and Mobius kind of interaction. First, we see Ravonna kind of interacting with Miss Minutes, kind of asking her for the files and stuff. It feels like Ravonna's just going through like a toxic relationship. She's just like kind of making excuses for the guy who's abusing her, pretty much, and like I got some very like weird vibes from her.
There's a backstory there, like Kang tried to like seduce her or something, and then erase her memory or something like that.
Yeah, there's definitely more to it. So yeah, what do you think of that, Nip? The interactions, like Ravonna, and then we have Mobius coming in after that.
Yeah, I don't know what to make of it. There's definitely something there. They just haven't revealed it yet. And Ravonna is definitely be part of the storyline because she exits screen into.
Yeah, we don't see what happens to her or anything. We don't see where she goes and such. So, what do you think?
I had a question on that real quick. So the windows are only time related, right? They can't go into different universes or multiverses or whatever.
They haven't said. Well, now it's the timeline is split off so often. I would think that you're able to go to different like dimensions and shit.
Okay.
There's no set timeline now. There's no like was it the sacred timeline? There's no sacred timeline.
Yeah, I just wish we'd have got some rules on that, because if the variants can just come in and out of the windows, that's gonna make it for some extra craziness.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's a multiverse of madness, my friend. So where do you think she's going to... so you think she's going to find out answers? Is she going back to Kang, the Conqueror? Where do you think she's going?
Go ahead, Sarah. I don't know this one. You're going to have to break it down. You're better insight.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I was a little surprised because like this whole time we thought she's known a lot more. But then this episode, it seems like she doesn't know everything. So I don't know if she maybe had like would we be thinking this first of all if we didn't know that in the comics they were together? Probably not. But maybe like they had a relationship and he got banished in my banishment theory. And so she is just like trying to follow the rules to save him, or maybe like he told her at some point that she needed to do this and then he disappeared. And so she's just trying to like blindly make the rules happen. Cause that feels like to be her driving thing, right? It's like, she doesn't know exactly why it's going on, but she's just like, these are the rules and we need to follow them. And that's our job.
In the comics, I just read Cliff Notes. I don't recall the comics myself, but I read like some Cliff Notes, and they were saying that basically he was kind of just chasing her all the time, and she never really wanted him. Like, she was not really into him or something like that. So I'm thinking like maybe he's just like creep stalking her and like erased her memory or something of that sort.
Trying to manipulate her in the timeline and kind of, I don't know. Good comment from Sir John. After the episode ended, I looked like I smelled a wet fart. Is that good? Is that good or bad? is that a good one or a bad one? All right, so we get interaction with Ravonna and Mobius, and we find out that pen, the Roosevelt High pen that pencil we saw a few episodes ago. That's where she was a teacher. That's where her prime timeline is at. And so that's how the other TVA agents kind of discover, this is we're variants, and so that kind of explains a little bit of that. How now the TVA is aware of her actions, and they're aware that they're not they're not just made by the timekeepers. They were actual people and actual timelines. What do you think of that reveal, Sarah?
I thought there was going to be a little bit more of a revolt. I'm not going to lie. I thought they were going to be a lot more like furious. But we didn't have time for that. I really appreciate that these episodes are like small enough. They're not.
It's a bad freeze when you say
What?
There again, you froze for a second.
Oh, I did? Dang it. On my side, y'all froze. Okay. So I was just saying, I think that like I was expecting a little bit more like anger, but now that they're more self-aware, I'm really curious to see what they do, because they don't really have a ton of options here, right? Like theoretically, they still can't go back to their timelines because those are gone. They probably don't want to continue doing the TVA's work. Like, what are they going to do? Where are they going to go? Who are they going to follow?
Another chat here, Sir John. In Marvel Record, the relationships happen on screen. The Eternals are mostly about the Black Knight romance, so most likely the Kang Ravonna story hasn't happened yet. Yeah, maybe this is the beginning of it, and maybe we'll find out it happened. So yeah, we'll know more. Yeah. Hopefully by season 2, which we get a big reveal. That's kind of a lame post credits, but we'll get to that next in a few minutes. All right, so I thought the scene. When the interactions with Kang and then when they're sitting down was pretty good, but then it kind of brings up the point where he wants to pretty much get replaced and have Loki and Sylvie kind of take over, and they can have what they want and you guys can be together or whatever. And he's said, I've been there the whole time. I've seen all the little moments you've shared, a little look on what was the planet called?
The rock. Lamentis.
Lamentis. Lamentis and stuff. So Sylvie still just wants to kill him, and that was her whole point. She wants to kill him, take him down. Loki's kind of like, let's think about this. Let's kind of like it kind of goes back to the beginning episode where she's like I should knock down the door. And she asked Loki, should you do that? She's like, well, you never asked before. And the same thing to him, like he was trying to overthink it. So this kind of calls back to the beginning of the episode. So he wants to think about it for a second. He's kind of not sure if Kang is telling the truth or not. And so they have a little battle, a little back and forth. He's kind of like playing defense. She's kind of out for blood. And it's a good little fight scene, a quick little fight scene. But the Loki, kind of tries to stop her, and she's going for the death blow, and he appears right in front of her, and he just kind of tells her to stop, just stop. Let's think. And she gives him a kiss. It was actually a sweet kiss, beautiful kind of moment right there. And she pretty much throws him into the back to the TVA, and she confronts Kang, and she gives him the whole stab. And then we get the nice "I'll see you soon" and give him the wink. The creepiest fucking gave me chills for sure. Nip, what'd you think of this, man?
Yeah, it was cool. So she's facing the decision of either they become timekeepers themselves, pretty much. Her and Loki, they become timekeepers, or she goes the raising Kangs route, and raises all the Kangs.
Raising Kangs?
Raising Kangs. Raising Kangs too. Yeah, so she decides to raise the Kangs, and that was, I didn't see that coming, honestly. That was I didn't see, I thought Loki would be the one to turn on her. I didn't think she would be the one to turn on him. And
she didn't really turn though. She just kind of she had a mission. She wanted to do execute.
And she broke his trust. She broke his heart. Like you could tell he was like crushed.
Yeah.
I guess she didn't really turn on him, but she did him dirty.
Yeah. Well, she was following the plan that he knew what she was going there to do, and he was kind of going there for the same thing. And he was starting to listen to this guy, and she was like, I don't fucking trust him. And so it's I don't know. They kind of both betrayed each other, really, because at the whole point.
Well, he was being rational. She was not.
Yeah. Well, they're Lokis, man.
Oh, disagree.
All right, Sarah, go ahead.
Well, no, because all he was saying was, let's take some time to think about the situation. So that's rational.
Thinking about it is fine, but I also think that Loki already sympathizes with Kang's idea of they have to be controlled. They don't know what they're this is what's the best for everyone. My will should be everyone's will, because that's what Loki said at the beginning. The very first episode, he said his driving force was that he wanted to rule and be a dictator, basically. So Kang is saying the same thing that he believes in, just as a different person. So Loki's okay, yes, ruling, that's a good idea. Whereas we've known from the beginning, Sylvie's mission was to destroy. She did exactly that because she doesn't want there to be a dictatorship over the timeline.
And she doesn't officially believe this guy right away. And Loki's kind of I don't know. They're both kind of going.
Did you guys believe that he would have made them timekeepers?
I kind of think he would have.
I don't know. It's you can't trust.
I guess I'm a Loki because I'm taking him at his word on this. I don't see any. I don't think
he took over everything else.
Obviously, he's willing to die. So,
yeah.
I mean, maybe he truly was just done. He's been around a million fucking years. I mean,
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think
it's very complicated.
I think if
it's like most relationships.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you think about Loki's values in general, he thinks that certain people know better how other people should live their lives. So I think that Kang saying that kind of thing to him wasn't super foreign, because that was his goal all along too.
Yeah.
Whereas Sylvie was free will, no way.
Well, I kind of see it as street gang violence. When there's a king out there, there's less of it.
Mm-hmm.
Because the king is out there, he's the dictator, he's calling all the shots, and you get a cleaner, less sloppy kills of people just killing random people. Kind of have some rules set in place. I kind of got that vibe off of it.
Interesting.
And then once if you kill that guy, then a million other guys come up, and everybody's trying to come up, and you get chaos.
Everybody wants the throne. Everybody wants to fight for that throne. Everybody wants that peace. But if you have one person ruling over, it's not going to be. And that it's good or bad coming from that. You have a you have dictatorships, which are a fucking.
But I think in that situation, say he was a gang king or whatever. I mean, Sylvie's the little kid who's been imprisoned their entire life or something along those lines. You know, like, is it better for her? No, probably not. Is it better for society in general? Maybe.
And I guess she really doesn't have anybody to anchor her. You know, she has no family. She has no backstory because are they all dead? Is her Asgard's dead, right?
Yeah, I think so. Well, she got her timeline got pruned, whatever.
Yeah, pruned totally. So yeah, she has nothing. Yeah,
nothing,
basically. Okay, that makes sense for her to just be like, "Fuck it, I have nothing."
Yeah, she has. And she did finally have a connection with somebody. You know, she did actually have. You know, this is the first time she's actually had, and it's kind of a metaphor, just like, you know, that her, you know, Loki falling in love with Sylvie. Basically, like, you got to learn to love yourself. You know, at some point. You know, so that's kind of like almost a lesson you kind of learn from this. You got to kind of learn to trust and love yourself. And in the end, they love each other, but they still don't trust each other. So it's very complicated, this show. This is very it makes you think. It's a thinking person show for sure.
I wonder if Sylvie can get back.
Yeah, does she like take over now that she's there? Like, she's killed. So yeah, let's talk about
become the king if you kill the king.
Yeah, let's go one more. We've got another chat here. Sir John again. It reminds you of the Greek myth Atlas, who holds the sky and he is stuck. He made Hercules hold the sky for a second and ran away. It'd be cool if he chose to be the timekeeper and you can't leave. Yeah, now she's like, she killed him, and yeah, that's a good point. She killed him. Now she's like, now is she stuck there to like forced?
Unless she just fucking leaves, like, I'm out of here.
She does have the time device, so she does. She can, I believe, she can leave.
She does have a temp pad still.
Yeah, but it was a cool shot too when you see the timeline just start slowly veering off, and then all from the little veers you get like little branches off of those, and it just turns into a fucking cluttered mess towards the end. I thought that visual was really cool. So we
get visuals throughout this were awesome. Yeah, didn't you like the colors in the background? They were like shifting the whole time.
All the use of color in the show is really on point. I think they really nailed it. Yeah, the cinematography is really nice. So we get Loki back at the TVA, kind of heartbroken, and we see B-15 and Mobius kind of like looking at the branch timelines. We saw early on, if any of the timelines go past a certain line, it's chaos and all hell's breaking loose. We see that's happening all over the place, and we have Loki running around looking for Mobius. Finally finds him, and this was heartbreaking. He's like, hey, it's all messed up, and they don't recognize him. They think he's like one of the analysts or whatever, and that was kind of heartbreaking seeing that. I
got Planet of the Apes vibes when you see
very much. Yeah, and then we get to see the statue. We get to see Kang. We get to see Kang in his comic book, except for the headpiece, but the comic book suit in the statue. So before it was 3 statues, now it's just one Kang, and it's obviously it's Kang. Kang, that's the Conqueror. That's the one that's in control of the timeline, and that's the bad ones. He was foretelling that you kill me, there's going to be all my variants are going to come out, and they're going to come out of the woodwork, and they're going to try to wreck shop. So we're going to see some different versions. And yeah, there's some Kang is fucking crazy as fuck. So we're going to see some different crazy versions. So Nip, what you think of that ending?
Yeah, it was crazy. Like I said, you get the altered, I guess, different multiverse, or his past has been changed. Or that's why I had the question of, was his past changed? Which I'm leaning towards that, or did she send him to like a different multiverse?
Or the timeline just like restarted and it starts over again, and this is a different timeline. It could be anything. It could be a different timeline. It could be a multiverse, a different dimension. Like it could be anything really.
They left it wide open, and I heard a lot of people complaining about that actually, which I didn't have a problem with, because you are leading to a season 2. You are leading to the multiverse of madness. You're leading towards something. So. Yeah. I don't see what the gripe is about. A lot of people just hate on Loki, this series in general.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't understand it. Like you said last night, I think we were like kind of in the minority. There's a lot of people were like kind of shit on it. I don't know. It's just like I said. I think this is a lot. This show kind of breaks a lot. It's a lot of deeper meanings to a lot of this stuff, like the Loki and Sylvie relationship, the Mobius stuff, and like it's a lot of stuff to think about. Like what's what do you sacrifice? What do you save? How do you, it's dealing with a lot of timeline shit too, which probably confuses people. A lot of people don't like that kind of stuff, like alternate dimensions and timelines. I love that kind of shit. I love time travel.
I can get how you can go too far though, when you don't explain stuff properly. We haven't got any good explanations yet, but hopefully Marvel seems to do a pretty good job of trying to explain things at least.
Yeah.
So I think we will get some good answers in the future and more questions as well. So I'm for it. I like the ending. I
Yeah,
like the series in general.
yeah. I think that we it would have been it would kind of been lame if we saw like some nothing person show up. Like, it was like the He Who Remains from the comic. It would have been just some old guy back there. It would have been like, all right, whatever. But we get Jonathan Majors, and he's a hell of an actor. Everything I've seen him in, he stands out, and I think rewatching it, really appreciate his performance a lot more. Seeing it again, and
I would have preferred an older version of him, like more along the lines of He
I
Who
could see that.
Remains.
If they could put some Asian makeup on him and kind of make it look like
Yeah,
he's
it
been
just because it just kind of contradicted the whole like, oh, I'm old, I'm done, I'm retiring, but then I'm like jumping around playing jolly games and being the Riddler and
I kind of like that. I dug that. I kind of dug that.
okay.
His little,
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of that personally.
yeah, but I think but this is one version of Kang. Like you said, there's multiple. We're gonna get evil Kang. We're gonna get Kid Kang. We're gonna get Pharaoh Kang. We're gonna get we're gonna see some different versions. And one of the main ones, the Kang the Conqueror one, that's the one that's gonna be fucking brutal, and he's gonna be fucking wrecking shop.
But in the comics, they're not variants. They're just different timelines, right? It's like him from the future, him from the past. So they're not necessarily variants. They're all in the same timeline. They're just different
points of his life.
Different points of his life. Where they went a different route, I guess.
Yeah, it's kind of a multi-dimensional thing. Yeah, it's interesting for sure. Sarah, what would you think of that ending?
I took it as Mobius had been sent back to a different timeline. That was how I read it. Who knows what it actually was, but Loki had been sent back to a different timeline where Mobius didn't know who he was, because even when they got like reset, I mean, we saw what happened there. He just went to a different planet and he still remembered everyone. So, yeah, that was how I read it, but I'm very curious to see where they go with it. I love it. I think it closed all the loops that we needed it to for this season, but it also opened things up so that I'm really excited for next season. Like, we got our answer of like, what is at the end of the timeline? Like, we got our answer for who's behind it all. And like, both characters followed through with like what they felt was the right thing. And then now we've opened it up to all these questions. Like, is season 2 just going to be him fighting a bunch of different kinds of Kangs? Like, I don't know. I
think we're going to see some Kangs through like we're going to see some in Multiverse Madness, because they just announced Loki's going to be in Doctor Strange 2. So that's so I think that confirms that we're going to see some Kang in that. And was the other one we might see, and this is probably going to set up some stuff in What If too. I think this is kind of, it's not coincidental that What If is the next series that comes out of this after they create a whole universe. So
some people were saying that now What If may be canon because you have the multiverses and all that.
Yeah.
Right. Well, and like, I also was sitting here being like, how did Loki survive Sylvie's knife, like literally being right at his throat? He should have been beheaded, guys. She was mid-swing. Like, the momentum was there. I'm sorry.
Well, yeah, but if she did that, you wouldn't get that little wink and see you soon. So it's I think that's a more chilling thing than just lopping off his head. But
well, she would have chopped off Loki's head, because he's the one who like stops in front of her, and I was just like, how she like full on. I don't know. But I really like the ending. I thought they did a great job with it. I'm super curious what's going on with Mobius now. We didn't get to see him on a jet ski yet, so
we're going to see that
die.
Yeah, we're going to see that at some point. You can't set that up and not like fulfill that promise, man. We need to see Mobius on a jet ski at some point.
But it was interesting to find out for sure that Ravonna was a teacher or principal or whatever. Like, she did work at a school.
Yeah, that was interesting.
And it was just a regular variant before.
Yeah.
I'm hoping we get to see more.
Did they tell her something? Did they? It looked like they were going to tell her something, like to change maybe the way she becomes in the future. Did you guys get that vibe, or you just think they were there to observe?
They were just.
I think that they were there to
prove that they're variants. Like, yeah, that's your boss that you follow, and that's her like in the timeline. So therefore, we're variants. Like, so.
Okay,
it makes sense.
I was thinking maybe they were going to tell her something, like change her ways or something like that.
No, I just think it was her B-15 or whatever her name is. showing everyone else, like, hey guys, look, you're variants, she's a variant, this is your proof. Like, I don't have to show you anything else.
Sir John,
that's what I got.
And, fun fact: the Wikipedia logo is based on Atlas. Yeah, and being the timekeeper is like being the Wikipedia from the MCU. Yeah, kind of. So does that mean Iron Man and Black Widow are alive because the timeline chaos? It means you can do anything pretty much. You can bring them back.
Different. We could have different versions of them.
You could bring back
and
different versions of T'Challa if you want. You recast Black Panther. You could bring Cap back. This kind of.
I think the main thing is X-Men and Fantastic Four.
Yeah, this could definitely tie into that stuff. Like kind of like
on board now.
Yeah,
and while that is exciting, are we hitting like a Harry Potter time turner situation where it's like, well, does anything actually matter because you can just change time?
That's kind of how it is. That's the kind of thing how it is in the comics. Like you can retcon stuff. Like writers retcon shit all the time, and sometimes shit changes. Sometimes they explain it, sometimes they don't. So it's kind of what the comics are. You can retcon shit. They retcon shit all the time. Like,
they got to be careful though, because you don't want to go too comic-y with some of.
You don't want to get too confusing with the timeline. Start changing too much shit. Because DC does that all the time with their comics, and they restart their universe. Yeah. They restart their universe every few years, and it just kind of makes no sense. And they try to like reset it and restart it all the time, and just trying to throw away the past and try to make the past count. And it's just kind of confusing. So you don't want to confuse your audience, but you definitely want to like say, because a lot of these actors are getting up there, and a lot of their contracts are like out of control. So this kind of because it gives them a kind of out for certain characters where they can recast them and kind of bring them in and just kind of reshuffle things when they need to. Because if they want this like to continue for the next 20 years or so, this is kind of what they need to do to like kind of keep it fresh, and you can kind of like switch out people, and you don't have to like really spell it out, but you can just be like, oh, the multiverse, the timelines are different,
right.
So this is a hard reset. This is not a soft, like, we're going to get back to this reality. This is like, I think this is a hard reset.
I think, this is opening up the door to a lot of stuff for them.
Command Shift Delete.
We'll see. We'll see Kang again in the next Ant-Man movie. Yep, Quantumania. That's where he was first.
Kang the Conqueror, though. Kang the Conqueror.
I think we're going to see Kang the Conqueror. Yeah, I think that we're going to see
Wacky Kang.
Wacky Kang. You can call him Wacky Kang. Let's see, Sir John. I think they said the What If series include different timelines that happen. Yeah, that's the whole What If is like in the comic. It's pretty much the multiverse where different things happen in the timeline, different scenarios and such. So.
And we're gonna get the Watcher. Where the Watcher will be. He's already canon. You've seen him with Stan Lee in one of the scenes.
Yeah, he's been
probably get some backstory on him. He'll talk about like.
Yeah.
You get like a little 20-second, 30-second intro of him talking about how he's been around forever. You see some of it in the trailer, right? He talks.
That's how in the comics. Usually you see the story. He opens up and he kind of gives you like a little lesson in the Marvel universe, telling you, all right, this is what happened. What happened in the real reality, and this would happen. How it veered off that timeline, and something else happened. So, Big Leo, I think What If is going to be fucking dope. I think so too. I'm not sure if I like the animation. It would probably grow on me, but we'll see.
Animation. It looks okay.
It looks a little stiff. It looks a little stiff for me, like a little not as smooth as it should be. But it's good. I like the concept. I like the. It looks like it's going to be some fun stories. So I'm pretty juiced on it. Sir John, thoughts zone to 10 on a movie original Miss Minutes. If we're going to do original characters, I want to see Japanese Iron Man called Gundam Man.
I want to see Iron Man fight the Mandarin. That's what I want to fucking see.
Yeah, right. We've been denied that for so long. Yeah,
so we got Trevor.
Trevor, you'll never see me coming. So we get the post-credit scene, which I was kind of let down by. Like I kind of already thought we were gonna get a season 2. I thought that was kind of already like known.
I didn't even see it, man. I skipped through it. I missed it.
Yeah, it was just a quick. They just said they showed Loki's profile. His TVA profile, and they said Loki will return in season 2. And
it was like a stamp.
I was kind of let down by the post-credit scene. I was like, give me a little more. I don't need a stamp. That's your like Marvel's known for the post-credit scenes to have some.
They could have done something. They had the whole fucking universe to work with.
That was fine to do that Loki thing. That could have been like the tail end of the credits. But give me something else. Maybe just show a little, maybe a hint of what Ravonna is, or give me a hint of Kang the Conqueror. Just you don't have to show him like.
Yeah, you could have showed like his silhouette,
or the back of him, and just like the back of him, just kind of observing all like the timelines all spreading out, and like him or maybe you see different versions of Kangs in different areas. I wouldn't mind wanting to see
that's
like
pretty lame. That's
I wanted to see
lame.
more. Like
That's
I
how
was
you're describing it. It's pretty lame.
yeah, I think it's disappointed with the post credit scene. I think we could have added a little more to that, but yeah.
But the post credit scene is a bonus, so I mean, you can't really hold that against the whole series.
That last shot of Kang, the statue of Kang, like you said, nailed it right on the head. Planet of the Apes vibes for sure. Like super, like you can tell it's a homage for sure. But yeah, that shot of Kang in his comic book suit, you know, I got chills. I was like, oh shit, yeah, this is gonna go down. So I did like that shot a lot. So I was digging it. So all right, so we're gonna get season 2. So what do you think is going to happen in season 2, Sarah? What do you think we're going to go with this? Is it going to be Loki kind of like trying to make these guys remember, trying to stop Kang, hunt down Ravonna, trying to get
Kill
back with
Sylvie.
Sylvie? Yeah, get back with Sylvie, kill Sylvie. Is that what's going to happen with Sylvie? Like, there's so many things they left up in the air. I thought I dug this season finale because it answered a lot of questions, but gets you excited because you want to see more. That's a sign of a good season finale when you just can't wait for the next season. That's a good sign right there.
Yeah. I think we're going to get kind of acquainted with the other multiverses, like especially the one that Loki was just sent to, which seems to have Kang as a ruler. And I think we're going to have a couple different plot lines. So I think there's going to be like the TVA situation. So like probably Mobius leading some sort of situation there, maybe in the other timeline. I think we're going to have Sylvie. And like, what do you do when you've already, like, that was her goal. Her whole life was to defeat the Timekeepers, right? So now what's her next step? Where's she going to go?
Now she has to defeat a bunch of Timekeepers. Yeah, she has to defeat a bunch of them now. And maybe she's like key in the role of taking down Kang. And she maybe her plot line is just going down trying to hunt all the Kangs she can.
Yeah, I think it's going to take a little bit of exploration, though, for her to be like, all right, well, we did it. Now what's next? And then I think Loki is probably going to try to find Sylvie. That would be my guess. Or like, yeah, I think he's going to try to find Sylvie, personally.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping that we see a couple different Kangs. I want to know why all of the previews had the Loki letters like filled in with different textiles, basically, and then we never once saw that this entire season. That's my one complaint.
We also didn't see King Loki too. There was a shot in the trailer where he's sitting on the throne in Asgard. So
You're right.
I think that was to throw us off. I think that was kind of
Marvel people, man.
They know how to fuck with you. They know what they're doing. They know how to like throw little things in here. They know what to reveal and shit. So yeah, they know how to fuck with us. And they're doing a good job of it. Damn it, they're doing a good job. They're definitely What about you, Nip? Where do you think we're gonna go with this? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Sarah.
No, I was just gonna say I don't feel like Loki and Sylvie are like on bad terms at this point. Like she could have possibly saved him if she sent him through the door before killing.
She could have killed him.
Kang.
Yeah, she could have killed him, but no, she decided to just
She could have killed him. She could have left him stuck there. If it turns out that it is kind of like a soul for a soul situation, sort of like the Soul Stone planet. Like maybe she saved him from being stuck there by getting him out of there before she killed him. I don't know, but I don't think they left on bad terms because I don't think Loki would be mad at Sylvie either because she did exactly what she said she was going to do the whole time. Yeah. She didn't turn on anybody. She just was like, I came here to destroy the Timekeepers. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, so, like I'm not buying this bullshit. I'm sorry you're buying this, but I came here to kill this motherfucker.
Yeah, exactly.
But she did like. He was trying to calm it down and say, let's think about this. And she just fucking shoved him into another dimension or whatever.
I think Loki will he'll understand.
I think he's going to be a little bit bitter.
Oh, you think he's going to be bitter?
He's a vengeful kind of guy.
Sir John, I think King Loki was the options Miss Minutes was offering, but they cut. I was thinking the same thing. Like maybe she was going to show him like his possible, what you can have, what you're possible. That's a good point.
That's a good point.
If you're watching right now, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, SF Comic Book Co. We do a weekly show every Tuesday, SF Company Hour, and check out. We're doing usually do the after shows. Probably not doing it for What If. Maybe we'll do a season finale What If special, kind of talking about the whole season.
I think a season wrap up will be good.
Season wrap up, we'll probably do that, but we'll probably be back for Ms. Marvel and the Hawkeye show, because those are definitely gonna have some.
I don't know about Miss Marvel. I don't know if I want to do that one.
All right, well, me and Sarah will do it. All right.
Yeah.
The dreams come.
I have no interest in that show really. I'll probably watch it, but
yeah. So Nip, what do you think? Where do you think we're gonna go season 2?
oh man, the options are unlimited. I have no clue. You can go any way. You can go. I guess Loki and Sylvie will be reunited at some point, and that's going to be some tension. Are they still allies, or are they going against each other now? Sarah made a good point. She did kind of save him in a way. That they could go that angle. Like she could say, "Oh, I saved you from being stuck here for infinity." Blah blah blah. So that's a good point. I kind of agree with that, but I do see Loki as a vengeful guy. I think he may be pissed off, especially if the multiverse is really fucked up after all this. He's gonna be a little bit pissed off, like I told you so.
I told you, or this is what it's meant to be. It's meant to be a multiverse, and it's kind of like there's supposed to be different timelines, and people are supposed to make decisions and decisions that change your life. We've all made those.
Free will.
We've all made those decisions that we're gonna go back like, oh, if I did this thing different, my life would have been a totally different way. So it kind of like you can't really take that away from people, and just because it's not what you think should happen, it's just what happens. You kind of just have to let life happen.
It's kind of interesting. He was talking about the devil thing too, and then free will and everything, right?
Yeah.
Mephisto.
Mephisto confirmed.
Maybe it was Mephisto.
Yeah, this is opening up the doors to a lot of things. Yeah, I can't, this next like year and a half, 2 years of storylines. I think what I'm more I think about when they haven't announced what Fantastic Four is going to end up. It's probably going to be 2024, I would assume, either late 2023, or 2024 at some point. So that might actually be the end, like kind of like of this little phase of the multiverse. And I think they're leading up to Secret Wars. Really, I think they're gonna. I think this is kind of the battle of the multiverse. And you can definitely bring back some of the characters that have passed on and kind of bring them in. There's a lot of shit you can look and do for sure.
I don't know where we're going, but I like in this instance not knowing where we're going. I think that's a good thing. I'm glad everything wasn't wrapped up nice and neat.
Yeah.
I think this is a better ending to a show that's kind of kept you on your feet the whole time through. So why not keep that going where we're still guessing? Like you guys said, it's a thinking person show. It seems like. So I'm down for that. I liked it, and I don't really know where they're going with it, so I'm good with that.
Sir John, Wanda's kids, Kid Loki, Ms. Marvel, the Patriot, and Ant-Man's daughter. The new Avengers are almost there. We should who should be their adult leader? It would be fun to see Spidey as their senior, or we can get a young Iron Lad, which is Kang, a young version of Kang. We could get cast a young actor to be young Kang, and that was a reveal in the comics. So. You never know.
Anything at this point. Anything's on.
Everything's up. But I think they're leading to Young Avengers. I think after it's kind of obvious that all these young heroes popping up, and I think they're definitely leading to Young Avengers. And Iron Lad was a big part of the Young Avengers, and that was a young Kang. So we might see that too. So kind of it's Kang before he becomes evil, and he's kind of a kid. It's a good storyline in the comics. So
where do the Eternals fit into all this? I guess we'll find out in a few months. But
yeah, they're gods, and they've been around a long time in the timeline. So they've seen some shit. So we'll probably get some kind of connection. I don't know if we'll get a Kang appearance, but we'll definitely get some kind of.
But all this shakes up their existence, or are they just kind of like immune to this kind of time stuff, or? Maybe,
possibly. I'm not too excited about Eternals, Ben, but it could tie in at some point because they're part of the universe, and the universe is definitely disturbed now. We saw the Living Tribunal, his head, the statue, his head on in last episode, so we could definitely that's part of the galaxy-wide beings. So we definitely
interesting because they didn't even intervene when Thanos was doing all his crazy shit.
Yeah, they're gonna explain that. I'm sure that a lot of people have been griping about that. Like, where the fuck were you? Like when Thanos was trying to destroy the universe. Like you're supposed to be like these great protectors. But we'll see.
Could this multiverse thing be the thing that sets them oh, we got to do something now? Or Kang is a level high level threat we need to do something about.
That's a good shout. Yeah, could be a thing where it's kind of we got the timeline's getting fucked up. Now we have to like jump in. Now we have to do something. Could be. I can see it. Yeah, I can see that possibly of happening for sure. So let's give a grade. Let's give a grade to the episode. Let's give a grade to the episode, and let's get the grade for the season. Sarah, what would you give this episode, and what would you give the season?
I already said 10 out of 10. I thought it was great. I thought it was the perfect amount of closing loops and opening them. We got a fight scene. We got cool colors. We got a new character that is like in a bigger part of the world. Good acting, I thought. Yeah, good set design. I loved it. I thought this one was great. Very happy with how the season ended. Yeah. I thought there was no chance in hell that we were getting Kang. I'm not gonna lie.
I thought we were gonna get Kang. It was just too much. They were like kind of last episode especially kind of beat you over the head with it. And I kind of like, all right, it has to be Kang. If it's not Kang, it just doesn't. Like, why'd you set all this stuff up? Like the stuff with the tower and all that. I was like, it's gonna be Kang. I didn't know we were gonna get this like a whole fucking episode of him. I thought we were.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. I didn't think we were gonna go full blown. And they did a good job of keeping it hidden because usually that kind of stuff gets leaked like easily. Like people fucking will spoil it and have a toy released or have some shit revealed. Have it revealed. But this one, no, I was legitimately surprised about it. I was like, wow, shit. I was like, okay, we're going there. We're gonna get them. So I liked it. I liked it a lot. Watching it a second time, I liked it even more. I'll go 10. I would go 10 on this episode. Yeah, I gave last week, and I give this one a 10. For the overall season, I'm gonna go 9.5. I'm going 9.5. I'm gonna average out my scores and stuff. I'm going 9.5 for the season. 10 episode, 9.5 for the season. Nip, what do you give it?
I'm gonna go 9.5 for the episode and 9.5 for the season.
Okay.
My only gripe on the episode is I didn't like the wackiness and the goofy he who remains. I felt like if you're gonna combine the two, like they did, then they should have made it like, because in the comics, I mean, he's not a major character or anything, but he's an older dude. He's
you didn't like the look.
Tired. I just wasn't feeling the whole wacky Kang thing. Like I thought he should have been more serious. If he's gonna be like the next level threat, the next big threat in the universe, I think they could have made him like a stronger presence, more serious. I guess it's just a personal preference for me, but overall, I still love the episode. You had some good explanations, good pacing to it, great scenery, like you guys mentioned, the colors, the cinematography is great, great acting again, and that holds up for the whole season as well. Great music, great scenes, great colors, great everything. So I thought it was a great episode, great series, the best of all the Marvel properties so far on Disney Plus. And I think the future is bright for Marvel, but they do need to tread carefully. They can't just get too wild with this shit. They gotta kind of rein it in a little bit. I think there's a point you can go where it gets too much for even like the average non-comic fan.
Yeah,
where you turn some people off.
Yeah, and like being a comic fan, I'm a big comic fan. I read comic, and kind of used to this kind of shit, like being like retcons and weird multiverse shit and changing shit that happened. Like, yeah, I'm kind of used to it. So I could see like people like that don't read the comics are not used to that kind of storytelling. So I could just definitely see why it'd be a turn off for some folks. But yeah, I don't. Yeah, the music was good. The visuals, I love the interactions, like the Mobius stuff with Loki with Sylvie and Ravonna and Mobius. Like all the characters had great interactions. They had great dialogue. Even when they're just like sitting down having a conversation, it's just very fascinating. It's I wasn't bored with the series. I pretty much loved almost every episode. It's a great show, great series. Sir John, Kang is such a villain. He speaks while chewing out. Evil bastard. I
take that as very much so like a Satan thing, like forbidden fruit, eating the apple, kind of a.
Somebody pointed out
kind of a vibe.
Loki and Sylvie are kind of like Adam and Eve, like it's like kind of the same kind of parallels and such. So that kind of makes sense.
Starting their own. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. It's like with the gloves. You gotta look for signals. Eating an apple, I feel like, is a villain thing. So is wearing gloves, like Miss Minutes does. Just saying.
Miss Minutes. Evil. All right.
You're hiding something.
All right, awesome. I think, it's great fun ride. I think this is probably my favorite Marvel show, like out of all the Marvel shows, like across like the decades. I think this has been like the most fun. Like the little Marvel like Easter eggs and such they threw in, just like real. They didn't like a lot of stuff they didn't have to do, but they just did it because they know fans are weird and obsessed with every little detail, and throwing Frog Thor in there, or throwing like heads and stuff of characters, like you got the yellow jacket helmet and stuff in the last episode, just like little shit like that, putting old man Loki in the comic book costume. It just, I think it's just it's exciting. It's exciting. I love this series. This is very placates to the Marvel fanboy that I am. So it definitely hit a lot of bases for me. So John, it was poor dining etiquette. Don't talk with your mouth full.
That too. He was also like messing with his nose a lot. Like I think he was just supposed to come off as kind of like rude in general.
Yeah, kind of obnoxious, kind of like, I'm the ruler of all time, so I can do pretty much act as much of an asshole as I can. And he did say I've been known as a conqueror, a ruler, a jerk. So I kind of I dug that line for sure. So right,
weird like smiles and cheese and
very. He's definitely chewing the scenery, but I dug it a lot. Rewatching it, you picking up the little quirks he was doing.
And I like the fact that they explained Elia too, like because that would have been weak if they didn't That was good. That was good detail.
Bye guys. Getting the vaccine tomorrow.
Good job,
Sir John. Make sure you hydrate, get those electrolytes in you, and get some rest for sure. Yeah, good.
Have some ibuprofen handy.
And thanks for the sub, Sir John. Appreciate it. Go check out the Gold Dirty Bastards too if you like some sports talk. It's any final words before we get out of here? Any final thoughts of the season, series, whatever?
Let's do it again soon.
Yeah, it was a fun ride. Yeah, let's do a after show for the finale of What If. We'll take a month off because we got summer work and shenanigans happening. So, Sarah, it's honor having you on. It's so much fun having you on. It was me and it was okay, but you joined the group.
I love being here. Thanks, you guys.
You're like the Hulk Hogan of our NWO. You came in and
the voice of reason. The voice of reason.
There you go. That's a good shout for sure. Nip, you want to plug the bastards?
Yeah. Gold Dirty Bastards. Like Ray was saying, we're a sports-based show. We talk a lot of smack on there to each other. Just group of friends having a good time, talking smack to each other, breaking down the world of sports from our point of view. Get a little West Coast vibe to it. Tired of the East Coast vibe, so it's our little thing. We had Doomzilla on last night's episode, and we did our top 5 sports movies of all time. So that was pretty cool. You can find us on YouTube. We have our own channel. It's Gold Dirty Bastards podcast, and the Bastards has a Z in it, so it's Bastards with a Z. We also have an Instagram. You can check us out there. Same thing, Gold Dirty Bastards podcast. Check us out when you get a chance. Give a like and subscribe.
Awesome. Check us out, SF Comic Book Co. Check out our social medias, Facebook, Instagram, all that cool stuff. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you have not subscribed. Turn on the notification bell so you can know when we're jumping on. We have reviews, rants, unboxings every week on Tuesday. We do our weekly show, SF Company Hour. Talk movies, comics, TV, just whatever dork talk we want to talk. So do all that crap. And thanks. It's been a fun ride. The 3 shows were fun to talk about, and there were ups and downs with the first 2 shows, but I think this one was consistently a fun one to talk about, and this was a good time for sure. Thanks for Sarah. Thanks Sarah. Thanks to Nip taking their times out of their lives to come help us out with this. And look out for more fun stuff, and be safe. And we'll see you guys in a different timeline.
And we want Galactus and Silver Surfer next.
Yes, Galactus.
Phase 4, please. Phase 5.
Doom. We want Doom. Damn it! All hail Doom.